in about the last 3 or 4 years, I've recognized a phenomena that's I've already lived through as a criminal defense lawyer, and that was post-Vietnam War. And where we are now is post-Vietnam War on steroids. And so what I've gotten very involved with is trying to share with other lawyers what it's like, A, to be a veteran, because we only have 1% of our population that are veterans now, as opposed to Vietnam when it would be 50% of male. So what I've tried to do, and have formulated a little seminar that I put on for other lawyers to try and raise their level of awareness, to give them some skill in trying to represent these folks, both men and women.
And I think that's the one thing that is different with our returning veterans this time than, say, Vietnam, is the number of women that are coming back. If the statistics hold out, there are going to be more women, homeless women vets than men. And that's for a lot of reasons. Typically, they don't have a very good support network. They come home and they're expected to just fall into just the way it was, and it's not that way anymore. And they really don't know how to fit. I think the other thing that we're seeing is a lot of these veterans are coming home very heavily medicated. The other thing that we're seeing with veterans is that there are certain types of crimes that we're seeing over and over again. And we're really trying to teach people, how do you represent a veteran charged with these types of crimes? In order to understand why it matters, you have to go back to the United States Supreme Court. And the United States Supreme Court has held that military duty counts at sentencing. And it counts for two reasons. Number one, it counts just because of the experience, just because you have been willing to go to war for your country. The second reason it counts is what happened to you when you served. Are you a victim of traumatic brain injury? Did an IED explode near you? Do you have PTSD? So all of these factors can really affect behavior. And some of the crimes that we are seeing are DUIs, domestic battery, and battery on a law enforcement officer. And so we have found in our practice that rather than combat veterans receiving credit for what they did, they're actually punished for being combat veterans. And that produces a lot of anger. And I think one of the things that Bill is trying to do is not only teach lawyers how to represent combat vets, but also to teach judges what combat veterans have been through, and to teach law enforcement how you should deal with veterans.
And the other problem with returning vets offenses are weapons offenses. Most soldiers are armed 24/7 when they're in the military. And a lot of them want to carry firearms in this country. And when they get into an offense that involves a firearm, they're now looking at 10, 20 life or a minimum mandatory 3 years. So you put someone in prison because of what we've trained them to do, and then we superimpose whatever the medical and mental consequences of combat is, and we're now caging people, and it's pitiful.
Prisons are not the place to get medical care, and many of these individuals need ongoing, psychiatric and other medical care, and it's simply not available. And so what you do is you almost have a veteran being doubly punished for being a veteran. And that's why it has become a passion of Bill and this firm to educate as many people as we can about what needs to happen when a combat veteran enters the criminal justice system.